Hey everybody, Nerdy Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the Transport's Power Core Combiner's Commander Class Skyhammer with Airlift. Now it is called a Commander Class, but it's not like the Commanders that we got with, say, Legions. This is closer to what we would call a Scout Class figure from about the Cybertron era. And you can see this jet mode, it's actually a pretty nice little jet mode. He actually does not have a huge amount of underkibble, or at least most of the underkibble's kept to the back. You know, unlike, say, Cyclonus here, where he's got a big chunk coming up pretty close. But he does have a decent looking jet mode. It is mainly blue and dark blue with hints of orange all over. There is a very tiny Decepticon symbol tampoed right there. The only place it really starts falling apart is towards the back, where you just have this big chunks that are just sticking out there as hips. I guess you could say they're jets, but they're so far behind the tail fins that it really does not look like jets. It just looks like... I mean, from this angle it kind of looks like a jet, but they're so big and bulky and they stick out so far past the tail fins that, yeah, it doesn't really work too well. If these just slid back and covered over them, it would be a bit better. Especially since they're right up against the wing, which does look odd. You also have the Power Core Combiner connector ports just sticking off the wings, so the wings are stuck with some undercarriage as well, but it works enough. You can also flip out the landing gear. And the landing gear on the back are already automatically pulled out, so you can have them sit there. And then here's his little partner Airlift, who's your basic little Power Core Combiner Minicon. He's got the ball joint to the arms. His can actually go outward. He does have a waist, although his head turns with his waist due to his gimmick. You do get ball jointed hips and knees that are hinged. And he's clear plastic, just like every other Minicon, so I'm always worried I'm going to break him. But he can combine with Skyhammer here in his vehicle mode. If you just flatten these out, flip up the Minicon peg, then you're just going to take Airlift and flip his legs back, and they will actually peg right behind his head. If you can line up, there you go. Then you just have his arms pointing straight down, which will make little turret guns for Skyhammer. Then you just peg him on top, and yeah, you're kind of just left with this big chunk sticking up. Normally, you get a lot of Power Core Combiner gimmicks like this, but since he is a plane, and it kind of destroys his sleekness, yeah, does not quite work as well as most do. So, would not recommend that. So yeah, his jet mode's a little sloppy, but overall it is a decent jet mode. So, not bad. Now let's get down to transformation for this guy. It's pretty simple, just flipping the wheel, flip down the nose cone, and you're going to come to the bottom here, and you're going to take what will be the legs. Go ahead and flip the wings back actually to get them out of the way. They'll actually slide outward, like so. And then this whole back part here will flip out. Not the hips, but the actual piece the hips are connected to will start flipping down to about there. It's going to be down at an angle. Go ahead and finish pulling the legs down. Flip down the little feet. There are also Power Core connectors in the back that you can flip down the form heels to help them stand, which is pretty nice. It's also kind of standard for a Commander class and Power Core Combiners. Unpeg the arms from the bottom. You can go ahead and collapse the tail fins back too. And they will hinge out this far. And you can rotate them forward. And then you're just kind of left with this husk of a jet. So you're going to just take the head and the chest plate. This whole section comes down the hinge here to where you're going to have the wings pointing up if they were pointing back before. The head can go ahead and flip through the port that's open. Then flip down the front of the jet. It will separate, the window parts will separate. And it'll peg into his midsection where his hips are connected, which can be kind of difficult at times. Bring the shoulders on down. And go ahead and remove the mask, as it is actually for his combined mode. And it'll just fall on back and collapse into that holder. And there you have Skyhammer in his somewhat ridiculous looking robot mode. Now we get him in robot mode. Just go ahead and get size comparison out of the way. Here he is next to the Voyager class Combiner Wars Cyclonus. So you can see he is about shorter than a Deluxe, but about the same size as an old Scout class. So he's fairly large. Alright, get Cyclonus out of the way. And we'll take a look at Skyhammer herself, who looks, I'll be honest, pretty ridiculous. He does have his wings with the connector kibble just kind of sticking up in the air. This chest does look a little piecey because the whole piece just doesn't connect. It just looks a little odd. It looks like he's falling apart almost. He has a very hollow. He's very hollow. I mean, he doesn't really have a middle. It's just a bunch of parts kind of sticking together. He looks like a Junkion, honestly. He would probably actually make a decent repaint to a Junkion. What I prefer to do to kind of help with this is to lay the wings back down and give him huge shoulder blades. But it also makes him look a bit more connected. And unfortunately, this piece does just stick up. I mean, even if I removed the helmet out of the way, it would still just kind of sit there. So yeah, there's not much you can do about the kibble just sticking straight up in the air. I mean, you can kind of work with the back wings here if you want to give them more flat back, or you want to keep those out of the way. And his feet keep flipping in so he can fall forward. So yeah, he is a little bit of a mess. Probably the worst of the robot modes out of the Power Core Combiner commanders I have. But how's his articulation? He does have a swivel at the head. So that works. You know, you got the ball joints at the shoulders, which are decent. You do get a... Do you get an elbow swivel? Oh no, you don't get an elbow swivel. You get two elbows. One that's a hinge, one that's a ball joint. Of course, the ball joint has a swivel, so you have a swivel all the way down here, below both elbow joints. It would have worked better if they actually put the swivel between the two, but, you know. You do at least get double elbows. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately, because how it clicks together. Do get hinges at the hips, and this one outwards ratchet since this is also the combiner hips. And you do get a knee joint, although you have to unclip the leg to do so, but you can also count as a double knee as well. And the feet and heels do move, but the feet are so flippy that they're kind of almost useless. In a lot of cases, I've actually flipped them around to use the heels as better feet. So yeah, he really is a bit of a mess in his robot mode. This is kind of like one of the faults that Power Core Combiners have. Everybody complains about Combiner Wars now and how it doesn't have a lot of paint and a lot of molding differences. But at least their figures actually held together for the most part and looked decent. Even if you didn't like the figure themselves, they at least looked decent for the most part. Power Core Combiner, it was a hot mess on whether you were going to get a good one or not. And don't get me wrong, his colors still work here. He still has pretty good paint. Even his face actually has some decent molding with this kind of like very angry. He kind of looks like Armada Cyclonus with how his colors are, and he has a very angry, very intimidating look to his face. Very deep, very angry grimace. And he does actually have some clear plastic so you can have his eyes kind of glow if you can get the lighting right. There you go. Which does make for a rather menacing effect. The problem is just kind of everything else. His overall quality, his transformation is pretty boring. His robot mode doesn't really hold together well. It doesn't really particularly look good, even with the shoulder blade thing going on. It makes him look a bit stronger, but still looks a bit partsy. And if you keep him how he's supposed to be, yeah, he just looks like a mess. But he still has one more mode. Oh wait, forgot to show you his integration with Airlift here. You can, of course, have him hold him as a weapon, although, let's go ahead and get the chest plate formation out of the way. Yeah, you guys gotta see this. So you're gonna flip out this peg, which makes his chest look even more ridiculous. Gonna take Airlift, just kind of lift his legs up in the knee position. Flip these forward, almost like he's covering them. Peg him on, set his arms in place, set his legs in place, and there, he actually has barely covered anything on Skyhammer, and in fact, just kind of looks like he's hugging Skyhammer. As TJ Omega said, looks like a child who's really happy to see their daddy. And yeah, that's pretty much all it looks like. It just looks like a kid who's just giving his dad a big old hug, who just came home from work, and the dad's just like, oh god, please get the kid off of me, please, not right now. Yeah, not really the best. It doesn't really even form a chest plate, just kind of sits there. So yeah, would not recommend that. But if you do want him to hold him as a gun, you can actually take it, twist his legs around, which will also twist his face around, hiding it. And it goes together the same way as it did in the other mode, just instead of a hole sticking up for the Minicom port, you instead have a peg that you can grab onto as a gun. Like so. As here it goes, and there you go. So now he's got a gun to hold. That looks kind of ridiculous because it's a fold-up little robot. Yeah, Power Core was not the best. So, well, as I mentioned, let's get into his combined mode. Go ahead and take the pegs at the bottom, flip up the feet. The legs you're going to actually pull apart, like so, and have them extend up. And the peg at the top of the shin blade will actually peg into this part in the hip. Do the same with the other one. So you're going to kind of lift with these janky looking legs, just look like his legs got broken into his knees. Flip up the wings all the way up. Take his normal robot arms, and you're going to fold them up on the double elbow till they're pointing back and the guns are pointing forward. You're basically got the fist going backwards with the guns forward, and they'll peg right into his wings. Then the struts that the ports actually sit on, the arm doesn't come undone, actually kind of fold over the hands of the old robot mode, which is pretty nice. And then you're going to come back here, grab the helmet, bring it on up. It kind of gives them the old Wright Brothers style helmet of the goggles and the helmet. It actually doesn't look that bad. Granted, this chest mode now has all the same problems as the robot mode because, once again, completely hollow. And now we don't even have the wings to kind of help cover that. I do like how these form together because it does give him some turrets on either side of his shoulders. And the arms actually look like they're actually attached, unlike how, say, Smolder looked. The legs are kind of just janky just because it's like... I get what they're going for to try to shorten the legs to give them more normal looking hips. And they kind of succeeded, but from the side it just looks like somebody broke his leg. So yeah, like I said, kind of works as a Junkion in a way. But it's not bad. This is at least acceptable compared to his robot mode, I would say, because at least up here I feel like somebody put some effort in with the hands being covered over by the shoulder mounts. The shoulder mounts actually being in a place that resemble where shoulders would go. And it actually does widen out his chest a bit since his arms are now part of his shoulders. And it already gives him some weaponry, and you, of course, could give him that chest plate if you want, but it's going to be exactly just as bad as before. And apparently my camera was slowly being tilted left. I apologize for that. But yeah, that is Skyhammer. Not the worst Power Core Combiner figure, I'll admit. I've seen much worse. I have. I don't own much worse. This is the worst of the three I own, but I would say he's still at least decent. If you want a Skyhammer figure on your shelf, or if you want to do like I said and repaint him into a Junkion, I say pick up this figure. You can find him for pretty cheap on eBay for about $10 complete with Verilift. Probably closer to about $12. Unless you're just a hardcore Power Core Combiners fan, or you have some other idea for this figure, he's honestly a skip. He's not great, not awful, but not great. And there's not really a reason to go get him right now. So, I hope I've been Nerdy Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.